Hi everyone, I hope that you're having a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about a subject that's not really my happy, usual, positive subjects. I'm not happy that I have to make a video about this, but I feel like I should, just in hopes that it will help other people. I wanted to talk about the topic of grief and loss and coping with grief. I've had my fair share of experiences with grief. My first time being when I was 10, I lost a very close family member who was very young, and it was very unexpected, and that was very difficult for me. I've been through a lot of things in my life, but grief is the number one thing that I have the most trouble coping with. So I wanted to share some of the ways that I have coped with feeling really devastated and lost without my loved one. This year, I've had two very significant losses in my life. In March, I lost another very close family member, and very recently, 2 weeks ago, I lost a close friend, and that was expected, but it was still very difficult because he was very young. The number one thing that has helped me with grief is my spirituality and my religion, so I highly recommend, if you're religious, to find comfort in your faith. I'm Catholic, and one of the things that I have done that has helped me the most is praying novenas. It's basically praying the rosary for 9 days, or it can be longer or shorter. There's different variations of it, and there's a prayer that goes along with each day. I actually did a 50-day novena once, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. If you're into praying and praying makes you feel better, I highly recommend praying for the loved one and their family members. A lot of times I feel very helpless, and I think that's a very common feeling when losing someone, no matter what religion you are. And if you don't pray, a good alternative is sending positive thoughts and vibes and energy to the family. Another tip that I have kind of goes with before they're gone. If you have the chance to say goodbye, say goodbye, no matter how hard it is. If you're lucky enough to get that chance, I would recommend taking it to get closure and to really say goodbye to them. With my friend, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye in person. So I wrote him a letter, and I painted a picture of him, and I sent it to him, and he got it before he passed. And that was my way of saying goodbye and my way of getting closure, and it was really helpful. I highly recommend, even if they're already gone and they're never gonna read it, write them a letter. The first time I dealt with grief, I wrote my loved one lots of letters, and I think they're still under my mattress. It's a good way to get your thoughts out of your head. For me, also, drawing pictures of them really helps, because I feel like I am immortalizing their memory. I'm using my art as a therapeutic technique to say goodbye and really show that person how much I love and appreciate them, even if they're not there to see it. Another tip that I have is to make an active effort to keep their memory alive. My family member who passed, she actually has a scholarship fund in her name, and she donated a lot of her money and had money from the funeral donated to Homeboy Industries. If you don't know what Homeboy Industries is, it's an amazing, amazing group, and I highly recommend that you look it up. I would donate to causes that they were passionate about in their name. If you can keep a picture of them somewhere, whether that's on your phone that you look at it occasionally, depending how close you were to them, or a picture on your bedside table if you were really close to them. Make an active effort to keep them in your life, no matter how painful it is. Personally, I think it's important to remember them. Another tip that I have is to just let it out. This is really hard for me, just because I like to keep everything together all the time. A personal thing about me is that I like to keep everything together all the time. So letting it out has always been really difficult for me, but I find it really helps, and I always feel a lot better afterwards. So I would recommend doing that. Another tip that I have is to find comfort in family and friends, especially the people who also knew this person. And also the people who didn't know the person. I find that talking it out a lot really helps when you're with people who knew the person. Something that I find very helpful is telling funny stories about that person. Maybe funny things they said or did, jokes that they'd tell, or stories that they'd tell. Just really remembering them in a positive light. To be honest, coping with grief is really not easy. It's very difficult, and there's no cookie cutter answer for it. However, these were just some of the tips that I personally had, how I cope with it. So I hope that you found this helpful in some sort of way. Know that you are very loved and that you're very important. I love you and thank you for watching, and I promise I'm gonna have a more upbeat video up next. It'll probably be a DIY or maybe a favorites video. You'll see. I love you. Bye.